So before we get into the main topic, we absolutely have to talk about this Hogwarts Castle and Ground set that is coming out September 1st of this year, of course. You know, it's funny, I recently did a Harry Potter video, and this came out, I swear, a day or two after it. And I said during that Harry Potter video that I really don't get into Harry Potter that much. I mean, I do, but I don't, right? This set right here not only makes me want to get into Harry Potter Lego, but it makes me want to do a deep dive into all the Harry Potter movies. I've said in the past the only Harry Potter movie I've seen in its entirety was Prisoner of Azkaban at the theaters, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great, and then I went to see the next one at the theater, and I left halfway through it, and I just hit the bar at the movie theater until the movie ended, and then I scooped up my wife because I just couldn't take it. But just because I didn't like that movie doesn't mean I don't have an open mind to Harry Potter. This set is gorgeous. Now, I do want to point out these rocks right here. I absolutely love that. And here's the thing, I've seen that design in the past from a lot of mock builders, right? And I really feel like Lego has, I don't know if they've hired new teams or they've hired, you know, amateur mock builders in the past, but correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Let me know in the comments. I really haven't seen this type of pattern before on Lego sets. Again, I've seen it when it comes to mock sets all the time, and I've always said to myself, I really think Lego should incorporate that element right there into its Lego sets, and it finally has. It has one time, and I am over the moon for this. I absolutely love this. Is probably going to be my favorite Harry Potter Lego set of all time. The recent Hogwarts Express that has recently retired will be the second. I actually think that's the best train Lego has ever put out, and the price point is awesome. You need to ask yourself, is this a set you're going to see at Walmart? Is this a set you're going to see at Target or Barnes & Noble? And will it be discounted 20% off? I mean, there is a lot of good things going for this set. With no disrespect to them, I try and produce a lot of my YouTube videos to the smaller resellers, but you need to ask yourself, the resellers that have a small budget, I really don't see them buying 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 of these, right? I really like this set. But again, time will tell. This will probably have a 2-year run or something like that. Hopefully it won't be the set that doesn't die. But speaking of that, you know, there are sets that just won't die, and when they do, there will be another one, right? I really don't see them doing a remake of this once this retires. So that's really cool. Now, going from my favorite Harry Potter set to going to my favorite Lego idea set. For those of you that don't know, Lego Jaws set surfaces with fishing boat and iconic giant shark. I absolutely love the movie Jaws. For those of you that grew up in the 70s and 80s, if you know, you know. I've seen this movie, I don't think I've seen it 100 times, but I've seen it countless times. Such a great movie. I can't believe they're making minifigures. This is going to be a really cool set. And this is a violent movie. I'm just surprised Lego is doing this, but I'm glad. This is going to be my absolute favorite Lego idea set, and I can't wait till it comes out. I'm probably going to be there the first week to pick it up, and when it retires, a month or two before it retires, I will be going all in. When it comes to nostalgia, and I'm going to be doing a video on nostalgia in the very near future. I need to take a couple shots, some B-roll and stuff like that, but I am going to put together a nostalgia Lego video for, you know, how well nostalgia sells and what nostalgic sets are out there that I think will do really good. This set will not be out in time for that, but this will be talked about in the near future, I guarantee it. So right now you're looking at my YouTube channel. I recently did a video on eBay. Now, it was not a highly viewed video, which was to be expected. Anytime I do videos on eBay, it really doesn't get that many views. However, I did receive a lot of feedback from this video, and I'm thinking about doing a second part, like a part 2 of eBay and eBay strategies, eBay selling, and things of that sort, things that you could do to help your eBay business. If that's something that you want to see, make sure you put it in the comment section below, because I did get some emails, I did get some good comments in the comment section, and there were a couple other things that I didn't add because I don't want to put people to sleep with a 20-minute video. This video was only 10 minutes. But again, if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comment section. So the title on the thumbnail is Where Should I Start? Speaking talking about new investors, you may have a lot of capital or you may have a little bit of capital. I want to talk about where you should start. This is something that I don't want to say I have this question all the time, but I do see it pop up occasionally, and I want to go ahead and do my best to help these people. And a lot of stuff in this video are things that I haven't mentioned in the past, so if there was ever a time for you to pull out a piece of paper or save this video and take notes later, this is definitely it, right? So if you're just starting out when it comes to buying Lego for resale and you really don't know where to start, that's okay. But what you want to do is you really want to look for those bona fide winners, right? Because I've said this a lot of times. Every reseller wants to be successful, right? But new resellers, I really think it's important for them to be successful as quickly as possible, right? They want that affirmation that what they're doing is good, right? Because sometimes your spouse won't give you that affirmation. You'll hear your spouse talk about why there are 50 or 100 Lego sets in a closet and how it's bothering the heck out of them, right? So you want to have success as quickly as possible. And one way to do that is to have bona fide winners. I've talked about a good place in the past to start out is architecture. But recently, when it comes to Speed Champions, you have to wait another 6 months or maybe a year. If that's something you're willing to do, great, good for you. But you're going to go ahead and do some due diligence and check out what those bona fide winners are. Now, where do you start? Well, there's too many places to name. Brick Picker, my YouTube channel, other YouTube channels out there. If I had to recommend one YouTube channel, it would be Jake's Bricks, or it would be Dead Bricking, or even DG Bricks. DG Bricks emailed me recently. We had a good discussion, and I've known him for a little bit as well. There are a lot of YouTube channels out there that I just don't have time to mention that are good resources, and you should be able to get a gist of what you should buy and what you should stay away from. Now, once you have certain sets or certain themes in mind, what you really want to do is you want to determine the resale value and what they'll probably go ahead and resell for. There are tons and tons and tons of historical data out there when it comes to certain sets, when it comes to remakes of sets, and that data should help you evaluate which sets are good for you. I've said it in the past, and I think it's worth saying again. Anytime you purchase a set, you should already know what you're going to sell that set at. You shouldn't purchase 20 sets and then go to a Facebook group and say, hey, how'd I do? What should I sell this at? I mean, there's going to be a lot of eye rolling. You're not going to see it, but there's going to be a lot of eye roll. Another thing you want to consider is storage solutions. I earlier just talked about how you're going to have a closet full of Lego sets filled up. You may have a spare bedroom. I've seen people I've seen so many pictures and so many videos of their setup, and they're all great, mostly. I mean, some have some opportunities, but when it comes to storage solutions, of course, the best way to go is for free. Eventually, you may have some growing pains and you may have to get some storage lockers or maybe eventually a warehouse, things of that sort. But you really want to have in mind where you're going to hold this stuff, because there was this one time I had a video chat with somebody and they were living, I think, in downtown New York or maybe downtown Chicago or something like that. And they said, Jim, my number one question is, I have over 350 sets. Where should I store this stuff? I live in like a 1-bedroom apartment. And I'm saying to myself, holy cow, this isn't necessarily the worst place you could be in, but this is something that you definitely should have thought of long before you reached out to me and had this conversation. If there was one piece of information that you should remember during this video, is don't buy everything. I've seen so many spreadsheets of people's inventory where they just got started and there's over 100 sets. That just is, in my opinion, is not the best way to go. You're going to be spending a lot of extra time, and they're all like onesies and twosies, maybe some fives. You might have this one Speed Champion set that might have 20 or 30, and then it's back to onesies and twosies and maybe 7, 8s, and 9s. You really don't want to do that. There's going to be a lot of listing involved, and there's also going to be a lot of time wasted. So I know for myself, if I was starting off when it came to Lego reselling, I would stick with a core 10 to 15 SKUs, and then I would try to continue to build up that quantity. Another thing you may want to do is you may want to buy what you like. Now there's a caveat to that, right? Don't just go out there and buy a ton of Star Wars sets if you don't know what you're doing. If you like Star Wars, great, but you're still going to need to do some due diligence. There's so much information out there that you should probably know if you haven't purchased your first set for resale, that probably the Star Wars helmets are the best ways to go, right? You need to buy what you like after you've done a little bit of due diligence, because you'll have a better feel for this one theme than me or anybody else will, just because you're so intimate with that. Harry Potter is a great example. I know very little about Harry Potter. I know the numbers on it, and I think I've been pretty successful on that, but I know a lot of people that are a lot more intimate with Harry Potter, and those are the people that I would have to reach out to and ask questions with. I would be a little bit uncomfortable trying to make Lego reselling decisions when it came to Harry Potter when I'm not an expert in that theme. Another thing you want to do is you want to make your listing easy, right? Again, going back to don't buy 100 SKUs, because there's going to be a lot of listing involved, and that's going to take away a lot of your time. But something that you may want to do is if you have maybe 100 sets or 50 sets of one thing, make sure you post that number on eBay. I'm saying eBay because I'm assuming if this is your first year, you may want to go the eBay route. I know many people that go the Amazon route, but there are a lot of people that do eBay just to get their foot in the door and see if this is something that they're comfortable doing. And if you have a Lego set listed and you have quantity 25, quantity 50, quantity 75, it'll be interesting to see what kind of people reach out to you. You'll have some people that will reach out to you because they may want 10, they may want 15 sets. I know whenever I sold my architecture studios, I sold the majority of my architecture studios to one person in Oregon. He was shipping them to China. I reached out to him and I said, if you don't mind me asking, you've purchased, close to 100 of these architecture studios. What are you doing with them? And he says, I'm shipping them to China. And I was like, great. I was like, I have a couple more if you want. And he said, sure, fine. So that's one way to make your listings easy, by not having a ton of SKUs and kind of putting yourself out there, because you may develop a network because you have such a high quantity on eBay. People will want to talk to you. They'll want to say, hey, what's going on? Are you a reseller? I'm a reseller. And that's one way to start to build a network and become more of an established Lego reseller. That's it, friends. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, I'm Jim with wolfofbricks.com. Always go out there and get it.